alopecia is genetic, so you have it your whole life. The difference is how it's expressed and when it's expressed. Mine started when I was about 3. I got little dime-sized spots in my head. The pediatrician said that it was sibling stress because my little brother had been born. They thought I was twisting my hair and pulling it out. And since it grew back, it supported the diagnosis, and we never really looked into it again. When I was about 10 or 15, somewhere between 10 and 15, I was at the riding stables, and something flew in my eye, and I ended up rubbing my eyelashes out. Well, at the time, I figured I had just rubbed my eyes too hard, and that's why they fell out. But the problem is, you can rub your eyes all day and lose 2. And mine had all fallen out. And what I figured out later was my body was expelling the eyelashes they had gotten into my eyes. But they grew back, so I didn't think anything of it. When I was in high school, I had an eyebrow that would kind of come and go, and I would just fill it in with pencil. And at that point, I was diagnosed with alopecia, but the dermatologist said, since it's just localized to your eyebrow, don't worry about it. When I was 22, I found a little dime-sized spot at the back of my head, just little teeny tiny, and your scalp skin is like baby skin because it doesn't get attacked by the elements. It's very protected. And within about 2 or 3 months, it was about this big, and I could cover it up because it was the early 90s and we had big permed hair. But it got to the point where I didn't care. I just wanted it to stop. So we don't know to this day what caused it to express itself finally. There's a lot of different theories. It's really, as with most of the autoimmune conditions out there, it's really kind of up in the air as to what causes it, and besides genetics, and what causes it to start. After I lost my hair, it took a couple years for me to get over it, to feel more comfortable with it, and to figure out what I was going to do going forward. Because here I was facing pretty much the rest of my life without hair. I started thinking about what I could do to help other people, because I'm not alone with alopecia, and another huge segment of the population are those who are touched by cancer and have to go through chemotherapy. Women in particular, when you lose your hair, you feel, when you're first going through it, you feel less of a woman. You feel like you're losing your sensuality in some way. Hair's big in society. I mean, you see all the ads with the hair care products during prime time, or you see the Victoria's Secret models with their hair down to their waist. And it really is a symbol of sensuality. I started Stylish Noggins because I figured that women who are getting ready to go through chemotherapy have to deal with this all very quickly. They don't have the years that I do to have to deal with it. And if I can show my experience and show what I do to make my life easier and to feel better about myself, that maybe it would help them as well. Actually, when I started it, I wasn't even thinking about people with alopecia. I was really thinking, I had contacts at a local hospital. A friend of mine worked in the cancer center, and she was always complimenting me on what I was wearing and with my hats and how everything went together. And so she asked if I would come and talk to a support group. So I went and I talked to the support group. We did a little how-to, played a little dress-up, and I realized that this is what I wanted to do. I was able to make a difference in the lives of these women. They came in kind of apprehensive, not knowing how they were going to react, and they ended up leaving with smiles on their faces and just feeling so much better about themselves. When I first started Stylish Noggins, I didn't want to just sell a hat in a box. It was very important to me to not just be a hat seller. I wanted to do something above and beyond. So what we do is, not only do we provide the hats and the scarves, we have the base caps that kind of go underneath the scarves, and we've got the ball caps that you can either wear with accessories or without accessories. But we wanted to kind of take it a little bit further. So I've also put together kits, which is pretty much all you need to do to put several different looks together, as well as a video that shows you how to do it. So although I can't be in your living room, you can still see what it is I do and not have to guess. I believe in living by example, so that in itself speaks to them, that they can see that, oh, she doesn't have hair. Every morning she has to get up in the morning and figure out what she's going to put on her head, and she's okay with it. It's not like I woke up one morning and said, woohoo, I'm all better. I mean, it really was a whole journey and a process, and getting to feel like I'm okay with myself. But when I went through it originally, there was no internet. There was no support groups. I had to do it pretty much on my own. So you end up kind of finding your inner strength and just doing it. I mean, I could have just said, oh, poor me, and hung around in my bed all day, but that's not the way I want to live my life. So I guess the answer is if I was talking to somebody and telling them as they're getting ready to go through this, that it's going to be okay and that you don't have to hide and that you can still look good and feel good about yourself with or without hair. I think that's pretty much the message, and I think that since they can see me living that, it's that much more meaningful. And I believe that the reason this happened and the reason I've been able to deal with it is because there's millions of other people that can use what I do. Whether it's the hats, whether it's the how-to, or whether it's just, realizing that this attitude is healthy and it's okay. So, I mean, from that standpoint, this is something that's very close to my heart. It's kind of an interesting question because my boys, they don't know me with hair. They see pictures of me with hair and they think I'm funny looking. So for them, it's normal. Now, there have been some times where they've been concerned about, I don't like it when people stare at you. And I have to look at them and go, well, why do you think they're staring at me? Are they staring at me because they feel sorry for me, or because they like my hat, or because they think I'm cute, or because I just said something funny and they heard it? I mean, there's a million reasons why people look at you. The other thing that they've gotten from all this, first of all, I think they're very proud of me. Secondly, they understand that people are different. We had gone into a drugstore with my oldest son, and he was about 6 or 7, and there was a gal there working behind the counter that was missing her arm from the elbow down. And it was obvious that she was compensating, and she's probably had it for a long time. And of course, my son at elbow level notices it, and in a stage whisper says, "Mom, why doesn't that girl have her arm?" And I looked at him, and in the same stage whisper I said, "Ryan, why doesn't Mom have hair?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, everybody's different." It's like, exactly. So my kids are richer for this whole experience. They see, they know their mom is strong, and they actually think I'm beautiful, which is kind of cool.